Good morning. It's Monday. It's March 23rd. It's time for another Monday Mindset. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Pull up, make sure you guys can hear me, comment in, make sure the audio is working. We're going to talk about AI. How do you show up in the LLMs? I'm going to share with you what I'm learning, what I'm doing for my own company, Reminder Media, and for our clients. And so I want you guys to take advantage of it as well. So hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Didn't do much this weekend. It was amazing, though, because I'm in the Northeast, right in Philadelphia, and so we had a really warm weekend. It was like the first warm weekend we've had in forever. And I told my wife, I said, you can almost feel depression lifting as the sun comes back out. And you're like, oh, thank goodness it is actually, cold. Or not cold anymore. It's warm. All right, there you go. Yep, okay, so sound's working. Hopefully, you guys are having a great morning already so far. I want to talk about AI because you can't avoid it, right? If you are not getting into AI and not using it in your business, you are making a massive mistake. Great podcast for you if you want to learn on the future of AI and what is happening. Moonshots, WTF Moonshots, Peter Diamandis hosts it, and he has a bunch of thought leaders on. He interviews, obviously, the top leaders, Dario from Anthropic, Elon Musk, Eric Schmidt, just all these incredible technologists. And it gives you a really good insight into where AI is headed. Now, they are on the leading edge, let's say. I won't say bleeding edge, but leading edge. So it's not necessarily super practical stuff, but it is incredibly interesting when you think about where it's headed in terms of the industry. But what I want to do is try to get really practical, because all of us right now should be trying to show up within the large language models. So in these LLMs that are being created, right, they're trained on data. And how do you make sure that you're being recommended as an agent when people search or have questions about insurance in your locality? And so a great test for everybody that I give them is you should go to your AI of choice, whether it's, Claude, Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT, it doesn't matter. Go to all of them and ask this question. In fact, it probably does matter. Go to all of them, ask this question, and say, hey, I'm looking for insurance, and enter your insurance, whether it's Medicare you sell, property casualty, health and life, whatever. Enter your insurance. I'm looking for insurance. Can you recommend to me some agents that I could talk to? And see what agents come up. See if your name comes up as a recommended source. The great thing about AI is it's interactive, right? So Google, you could do that right now in Google, and search things would come up, but you wouldn't be able to interact with it. You wouldn't be able to ask Google, why did you show me these links? Why did you show me these options? AI, you can actually ask. So AI, after you search, hey, I need help with Medicare insurance. Can you recommend to me top insurance agents in my area? After you ask it that question, names will pop up, and you can ask it, why did you pull these names? Why did you recommend them? What sources did you use? What made you choose these agents versus other agents to recommend? And then most importantly, if they didn't recommend you, you can ask, why did you not recognize or recommend Luke Acree? What was Luke Acree missing that made you choose, Bob over here versus Luke Acree? And it will tell you. And then it gets really good because you can say, well, take on the role of an AI optimization expert that specializes in, AI optimization, to have me show in the LLMs and give me a step-by-step plan of how I can improve my profile to show up in the LLMs. And it will give you a step-by-step plan. So if you're not doing that, that's the first hack that will give you. But here's the 4 or 5 things we're doing as a company, what I'm having people that I coach and clients that I talk to do to help them show up in the LLMs. And I'm telling you, man, search is starting to drift towards these AIs, right? And I think it's going to get more and more as the years go on, where most search will start within these AIs. And you won't even go to Google anymore because you get better recommendations. And again, it's interactive, so you don't have to do as much work. And the one thing you can bank on always in life is that human beings will always go to the path of least resistance. We are lazy creatures, so we want convenience even over quality sometimes. It's kind of sad, but it's the truth. So here are some things that you can do as a business to help you show up in the AI. First thing that I would recommend that you do is you need to go heavy on campaigns to get testimonials. So testimonials are one of the main ways AI is or how AI is recommending people is they're using testimonials to see credibility. And so if you do not have a Google business profile set up where you have tons of testimonials, you need to get that. Fast Expert is a site that is coming up often when related to like recommending business professionals. So Fast Expert's a review site. You need to get reviews. Your reviews need to be on your site, need to be on Yelp, need to be whatever, like Agent Review, I think is a site out there for insurance agents and other agents. You need to be on that site, Fast Expert. You need to have it on Google. These are the things that not only are propping you up to be recommended because the volume of reviews you have matters, but also the quality of the review. And so if you can help your clients when they're writing a review, do it in a way of like almost like keywords. So I loved how Luke Acree helped me with my Medicare policy. He helped me understand XYZ. And the way to do this is to try to spoon feed them this information. So when you ask them for the review, make it super easy. Give them a link right to your Google so they can click that link and it takes them right to writing the review. You can do this. And the other thing that you can do is give them an example of what they could write based upon their situation. And 9 times out of 10, human beings take the path of least resistance. So they'll take your example and they'll just tweak it a tiny bit, but it's more than likely going to have a bunch of the keywords that you want because the LLMs are searching, right? They're being trained on all the data across the web, like every bit of data. And so it's taking your reviews and it's using those reviews to help it understand, is this the best answer? Because the LLMs, all it's trying to do, it's probability or predictability. It's just trying to go, based upon this question asked, what's the most reasonable and probable answer for this? And so you need to have keyword-heavy reviews. You need to make sure that you can get clients to write reviews in a way that will showcase your expertise. So think about the area you serve, the products you serve, the solutions you give, and try to give them a format for writing the review where it's like Luke Acree, based in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, helped me tremendously with my Medicare and gave me XYZ solution. And then obviously they can write anything glowing about you that they want, but that's kind of what you're looking for is now the AI knows Luke Acree, an insurance agent in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, served this product with this solution, and this client was extremely happy. So it's think in terms, and this gets to my second point when it comes to showing up in the LLMs, think in terms of Q&A. Think in terms of question and answer. Like your reviews, you want, I say keyword heavy, but really what I'm trying to say is you want it to state what the answer is to someone's potential question. So if somebody goes to the LLM and asks, the AI, who could help me in King of Prussia with Medicare insurance? Well, if that review and multiple reviews are Luke Acree, a Medicare insurance agent in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, does an incredible job with XYZ insurance, that is going to be served as kind of like an answer to that question being asked in the AI. And this is really to the second point, which is you have your reviews, then you need to have your blogs be Q&A format. So we've started to do this at Reminder Media, and I'm encouraging clients to do this, is when you write a blog, when you do a piece of content, you need to think about what are the questions being asked to the AI that, and you could go to Google keywords, you could go to, the name is slipping me now, it's Neil Patel's site. I can't remember the name of it. I apologize. But it's basically you can go and ask anything, and it gives you what the web is asking. So Neil Patel, just Google it or AI it, and you'll probably find the site. But you need to try to write blogs in terms of what people are asking. So what are people asking the OpenAI right now? What are people asking Google right now? And how can you write a blog that gives the exact answer to whatever they're asking? Now you have a way better chance of showing up in the LLM. And I would still encourage you in your blogs. Now, maybe you serve nationally, but whatever zone you serve, try to put that in your blog as well. Because my prediction is, like everything, the more hyper-local you can get, the more personalized you can get, the better. So these AIs are going to naturally get better at going, not only let me serve you up the answer, but let me serve you up the answer from a local expert, from someone who's boots on the ground in your area dealing with what you're dealing with. So you need to write blogs in Q&A format. What's the question being asked? And give the exact answer underneath. And AI can help you do this. Go to AI and say, what are the most frequently asked questions in regards to your industry? And then you can say, take on the role of a great blog writer who specializes in AI optimization and SEO, and write me a great blog that answers this question specifically. So the LLMs will find this. And it will literally write it for you, and you can tweak it, read it, put it on your site, and be producing this type of content. That goes to the third point I would give you. So first is get reviews. Easy way to get reviews is throw a client event. So right now you might have to call everybody and ask them for a review, but if you want to make it easy, throw a client event and invite a bunch of your clients to a client event and ask them to review you when they come to the client event. It's super easy. I do it all the time for agents all across the nation, and they get tons of reviews doing this. Second thing, write blogs in a Q&A format. What is the question being asked? You write the blog that answers that question specifically, because the LLM is going to be looking for giving the answer to specific questions. So the more you can answer that specific question in your blog, the better. Third thing that I would do if I were you is optimize your bio. So you have a bio on your website, you have a bio on your Google profile, you have a bio on these review sites that are out there. They give you a little place to put a bio. Have you optimized that for AI, for SEO? Have you optimized it? You need to take your bio, feed it into ChatGPT, Gemini, your AI of choice, and say, take on the role of an AI optimizations expert, a search engine optimization expert. Please optimize my bio so it shows up in the searches and it shows up in the LLMs, and give it what products you offer, what people you serve. Give it as much information as you possibly can of what you want to show for, and get it to write a bio that's optimized. So many of you guys probably have bios all over the web, but they're not optimized for what you want to actually show up for in the searches. And update your bio across all platforms. So that's the third thing I would do. Fourth thing, so again, it's like you want to go in and you want to try to get reviews. You want to go in and you want to try to put out content that's being asked into the AIs. You want to optimize your bio so it shows up. Fourth thing I would do is make sure you are using YouTube and you're getting videos out on YouTube Shorts and YouTube, and you are using Twitter, or now X, because this is a little bit theory, but I'm hearing a lot of people preach this right now, and I actually buy into it, is if you're not putting out YouTube Shorts, you're missing a massive opportunity to show up within Gemini's AI. I believe everybody's AI, but for sure Gemini's, because they own YouTube. And so you need to be putting out content. Think about the Q&A you wrote for the blog. You should take that same Q&A, film a YouTube Short or a YouTube Long on that. So you have content out there in YouTube. YouTube is the second most used search portal, meaning people go to Google first, they go to YouTube second, and it's search intent-based. They're going to search for something usually. So you want to utilize YouTube so your data can show up in the LLM. And again, think about it the same way. Where are you located? What is your profession? What products do you serve? Pain points do you serve? What products and solutions do you have? And get that in your answers. So, if you think about questions on Medicare in your location, film a YouTube Short on that. Film a YouTube video on that, because it's not just the views you get on YouTube, although I'm sure that matters. I wonder, honestly, if that's going to ultimately matter in the picking of the solution or the answer it gives in the LLMs. I would imagine it probably will, that if this one has enough likes and views, they probably value it higher. But regardless, you have a chance to now show up within YouTube's data that it is training Gemini and probably some of these other AIs to actually get you to show up in the LLM. And remember, you're not competing against the whole nation. You're competing against the couple hundred local agents in your market. So you can easily win, but you have to get ahead of them and putting out this content. So I would be putting out content on X. I would be putting out content on YouTube so you show up, because Grok is trained on X's data, right? So that's one of the reasons why they say Grok is really good at predicting things, because it has access to all of Twitter/X's data, so it sees things instantly going. But those are 4 simple things I would do today if I were you trying to get on the LLMs. And remember, we're in the beginning stages. So few people are doing this. I think I saw a stat the other day, there's maybe 1 billion users, right? Or a couple billion users of AI, but the majority of those are non-paying users, Majority of those are non-paying. And then when you get to the users who are actually using like Claude Code or using like these in-depth features of AI, it's only in the millions. And you think there's billions of people in this world, and there's only a couple million right now using actual these in-depth paid tools. You have such an advantage if you start getting testimonials, if you start optimizing your blogs to be AI optimized, if you start actually getting content out there on YouTube and all these places, and you optimize your bio, you have an advantage to show up in the LLM. So anyways, that's what we're trying to do at Reminder Media, and we're already getting leads from AI. So we already have people coming in telling us that they found us through ChatGPT. So I would encourage you, get on that right away. Do not rest on it. Get out there this week. Win for you, for your clients, for your family. Appreciate you guys. Most importantly, make it a great day. You get to choose that. Remember that. You get to choose whether or not it's a great day or not. I had to remind myself of that this morning because I woke up with a headache. Is like I get to choose whether today was going to be a great day or not. Nobody else gets to choose that for me. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Have a great one.